camera first. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Today we're going to learn a new topic using R. So we're going to learn about data visualization, right, using base R. We are not going to use any additional package, but we're going to use base R. So the data set that we're going to use for plotting this topic, you can find the data set on your Google Classroom. Find data set for data visualization. So I already upload probably.csv, TB incidents, yacht tobacco survey. So we're going to use these three data file lah. So now data file that we're going to use is empty car data set, which is this is a ready-made data set. Pressure data set is also ready-made. Air quality also a ready-made data set. And the additional data set is TB data set, YTS, and probably.csv. Right. So first you need to set working directory lah. When you already downloading the data, make sure you set working directory to the folder that you install the data lah. Right, you can recheck whether the data is already installed into your directory by typing dir open bracket dot. So you can see here I have already installed, I already saved in my working directory TB incidents Excel file, yacht tobacco survey YTS data.csv and probably.csv. Right. So let's look at the empty car data set. So empty car data set is a ready-made data set. So we have basically 32 observation and 11 variable. Right. So this is a row names for each row. We have MPG, CYL, displacement, and so on lah. So we can recheck the dimension of empty cars. We have 32 observation and 11 variables. Another data set that we're going to use is a pressure data set. So this is a ready-made data set. You can find it by typing just pressure. So we have 19 observation and 2 variables, right? So all of these variables are numerical, right? So except empty cars, they are mixed with numerical and categorical data lah. So we need to adjust the data type later on for empty car. For air quality, you just type air quality, so we will get the data set lah. So we have 153 observation, right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables. And then we're going to call for TB dataset. Let's say TB dataset is a Excel dataset, right? So we need to have library read Excel to read Excel file, right? So let's restore it to be TB read underscore Excel, right? And then we just type the name of the data set. So I cannot remember, so let me call the directory. So we're going to use TB underscore incidents dot XLS, right? So remember, this data set is I already gave to you yesterday, last lecture, right? With the assignment exercise you can buat. So what is the exercise is if you look at the names of a TB, so you can see that the first variable name is very long, right? So what I want to do is I want to replace this variable name to country. So I need to use library dplyr, right? So this is the easiest way to rename the variable name. So TB, let's say rename TB, and then the new name is country, right? Equal to the oldest name is TB incidence all form per 1000 year. So this one should be here, and If you can see now, names of TB already changed to country, right? So this, I hope you already done this previously. And then the next assignment is I want you to select only variable starting with 1, kan? So means that year before year 2000. So to select uh, variable that have starting with 1, you can use, let's say, avg. I store it with the new name, right? Avg select, right, tb country. Of course, I'm going to include country as well, and then start with 1, right? Oops, I need to have another bracket here, right? So you can see now the names of avg is, I already select country and others variable names starting from 1 lah, right? So this is beautiful about beautiful thing about dplyr package lah. We can easily select variable without any many coding line. Let's say I want to select I want to call for YTS dataset. So YTS is a CSV dataset, kan? YTS dataset. So in YTS dataset, it's a CSV dataset. So we need to use read Excel, read.csv, right? And the dataset name. So I cannot remember the dataset name. So the dataset name is Yacht Tobacco Survey underscore yts.data.csv. So we just call the dataset lah. So in this dataset we have basically 9,794 observation and 31 variables, right? So let's look at some of the observation in the YTS. So they have a lot of variable. We can see we have 31 variable. Let's say I want to select measure discrepancy, right? I want measure should be smoking status, and then gender should be overall, and response should be current response. So let's look at table YTS measure, right? So how many category we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 category in measure DESC. So under measure DSC, we have smoking status, user status, quit attempt in past year among current cigarette smokers. So basically, I want to select smoking status, right? So let's say we put it as a sub YTS, right? And then YTS. So see, I already called the dplyr package, kan? So I'm going to filter measure should be equal to smoking, capital S, right? Smoking status, right? And then I want gender should be overall. Let's look at about gender. Gender, how many category we have? So we have 3 category for in gender. We have female, male, and overall. So I want to select gender equal to overall, right? And next thing I want to select is response status. So let's say response. So we have current, ever, and frequency lah. And another one is no response. This one is unidentified level lah. So let's say I want to select response equal to current, right? So this one I already filter, but I want to select some variable for my purpose of for the purpose of data visualization, kan? So let's say I want to select only year, location status, location discrepancy, right? Location, oops, and data value, right? So this is the variable that I want to select, right? So let's look at a head of sub underscore YTS. So we have three variable as I selected: year, location, and data value. So the data value is already sorted by smoking status, gender overall, and response equal to current, right? So this is the data set that we're going to use. So we save it later. So now for, are you following me? Right? So if you cannot follow, okay, I suggest you to screenshot for a while, right? Screenshot dulu. Then you try to copy and the data lah, the codes, or I can paste it to the chat room, right? You boleh ambil dalam chat room lah, right? So now we're going to look into, since we already make our data ready for illustration, right? So let's look at data visualization, right? From base package, right? So we are looking into base package. We are not going to use ggplot yet. So later on we will see on the next class how to use ggplot package. So in base package there are several function that can be used to generate a plot. So for example, plot xy is for scatter plot x and y, right? X means x exists, y is y exists. If you look at the document, help document for plot, right? Let's look at generic xy. X is the coordinate of point in plot, so it will be on x axis lah. So y should be y coordinate point of the plot, right? So you should know before we plotting the graph, there are two axes in the graph. First is y axis, which is vertical, and another one is x axis in horizontal place, right? So if you want to do a box plot, so we can use a box plot y tilde x. Y tilde x means that we should specify the variable y first and x if you have a categorical variable in x lah. And then histogram we're going to use HIST function, and density plot we're going to use density x. So this one to create a density plot lah. Right. So now let's look at plot function. Plot function. So plot function, there are, if you look at the help document, plot function, kita buka besar sikit. Macam mana I nak besarkan this one? So you can see plot function. So plot function, this is a generic function for plotting in R lah, right? So it's for simple scatter plot. So scatter plot is this is a plot to show the relationship between two numerical variable, right? So if you want to see the relationship between A and B, and provided A and B is a numerical variable, then you can plot a scatter diagram lah. Right, so the argument is the usage is plot x, y. The argument is x and y, and dot dot dot. So dot 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 is we can put type. So what type of the plot should be drawn? So if you specify type equal to p, which is this is by default, right? P is point. Point means that we're going to create a scatter diagram. And if type equal to L, this is for line. Type for equal to B means that in combination of P and L means that the point and line, right? So C is for line part alone of B, right? Without point. O means both over plot means point and line, is same as B, right? And H is for histogram, right? S is for stair, capital S is for step, and N is for no plotting, right? So let's look at let me let me derive some of the example, right? Let's say you don't need to copy, but I just want to show to you, right? This one is to make it 2 row and 3 column, right? And then let's say I create a j equal to 1 until 20 and k is equal to j, right? So let's say I plot j and k type equal to O, right? So let's say this one plot, let's say I copy and paste lah, type equal to S, type equal to P, type equal to L, B, and H. So just so for a demonstration only, to show you what is the difference between this plot, right? So if you can see here, right? So the first plot is when I type equal to O. So we can see the line chart. So we have a line chart with the plot with the point, right? With the point. And when type is equal to S, we're going to get stair plot. When type equal to P, we're going to get a scatter diagram, which is a point chart. And type equal to L, which is we're going to get a line chart. And type equal to B means that we're going to combine point and chart together. So we're going to have uh, a bit of what we call, this one you nampak tak? Ada jarak sikit between point and line, right? So when type equal to H, we're going to create an histogram, but this is not a very nice histogram lah. So we're going to use HIST nanti later on. So this is the comparison between the different type in plot function, right? So now I'm going to show to you how to use scatter diagram in detail. So scatter diagram is when the type is equal to P. Right? So let's say I'm using empty car dataset plot, right? First function is plot empty car. So the first variable I define should be in x-axis. The second variable, the second argument I define should be on y-axis. So let's say, but you need to remember scatter plot is only designed for numerical variable only. And we want to see there are two numerical variable. Objective is we want to see the relationship between two variable, right? So this is the objective. So we want to see the relationship between two variables, whether it have a linear relationship, positive linear relationship, negative linear relationship, or there are no relationship, or we can see any type of relationship, whether it have a polynomial relationship or others. Now let's say the first variable I'm going to put is weight, which is this is a numerical variable, and second variable is, let's say, mpg, right? So wait, So I need to change back, say def dot off, right? So we were going to get a very nice scatter diagram, right? If you can notice that first variable I code is for x-axis, the second variable that I code is for y-axis, right? So this is for scatter diagram, very simple scatter diagram, right? Boleh eh? So we can change another one. Let's say plot empty cars with MPG and empty cars with displacement, right? So we can see there is also a negative relationship, right? So later on I will show you how to create a line as you get in SPSS, right? So let's say if you notice the point here, the point that the R use is circle point, right? Nampak circle point, very small circle point, right? So if you notice, but before we go to that part, right? So if you notice here, I'm not using any argument of type, right? So because by default, R is the type equal to P is the default argument in R, in plot function. So if you put another argument which is type equal to P, there is nothing changed because the type equal to P is a default argument, right? So let's look at the function that the point that I use here, the R give to us. So we can change the symbol using PCH argument. So we can use PCH to argument to change the symbol. Let's say I copy this one. I just add another function argument which is PCH equal to 1. So PCH equal to 1 by default is a circle point, circle symbol. If I change it to 2, it's going to be triangle. I change it to 3, going to be plus. So if you want to know what are symbol of PCH available in R, let me copy my code here. I'm going to show you, so you don't need to copy, right? So there are several symbols. There are 25 symbols available in PCH argument. So we have the first symbol. If we define PCH equal to 1, we're going to get a circle symbol. PCH equal to 25 is a inverse triangle, right? PCH equal to 24 is a triangle with a bowl, right? So now, let's say we change PCH equal to 24, right? So we will get triangle with the bowl symbol, right? So boleh nampak, boleh copy this one if you want. So now, let me show you. I dah tunjuk dekat tadi. Okay, let's say we already created a simple scatter diagram. So let's say we want to put a title of the graph. So normally when we create a graph, we need to have a title of the whole graph, title for the x-axis and y-axis, right? And sometimes we need to have a subtitle to explain what is what the graph is all about, right? So let's say to give title for the graph, right? So to give title for the graph, let's say we're going to let me copy this one. So to give title for the whole graph, we use main argument. Main, let's say this is ataupun kita relationship between weight of the cars and miles per gallon. So nampak tak dia keluar macam tu. So if you have a longer title, right? A longer title, so we can make it title into the second row, right? So kita letak macam ni, backslash n, Itu saja. So dia akan turun ke bawah lah. So maksudnya dia akan turun ke the next line. \n. Right? Boleh nampak? So this is how we going to put the title for the whole graph. Okay? So let's say we want to put title for x-axis. Oops. Title for x-axis. So we just make it comma over here, ataupun you boleh letak kat bawah sikit lah. Okay. Right, I letak kat bawah. So comma x lab. X lab is for x label. So we're going to replace empty car $WT with weight of the car. So you will change it to weight of the car lah. So same goes to y-axis. So we just put y lab equal to miles per gallon. So it will change it to miles per gallon. So this is how we make a nice graph lah, right? So ini not nice lah. Okay, yeah. Okay, now nice. Okay, boleh eh? So then let's say if you look at the graph, right? So let's say it's hard to see if the graph is too small, kan? Right? You nampak dia punya point symbol ni very small. Let's say you want to make it bigger, right? To make symbol size bigger, we use CX argument. So we're going to use CX argument. Let's say I'm going to use this function, code. So I'm going to put another argument which is CX equal to 2. So it will make it the symbol bigger lah. Right? If I change it to 3, it will make it even bigger. Right? So you need to adjust your graph to the nice view lah, right? So this one should be okay. So nampak, semua orang nampak berapa besar dia punya point, right? Boleh eh? And let's say you want to make the line border line ni, border line dalam graph, dalam simbol ni nak make it bigger atau thicker, right? So let's say to make the line or symbol line thicker, right? We're going to use LWD argument, right? LWD argument. So let me copy this one. So I put it so you can see properly. I tambah LWD equal to 2. So watch properly the graph kan, bila I run, so dia akan make it thicker lah. Boleh eh? Okay, are you okay with this one? Very simple, right? So let's say for the graph without color is a boring graph. So let's say we want to plot graph by color. Right, we're going to add colors. So let's say I'm just copying this one, right? To add color, we're going to use argument name as COL, right? Color. So we just add another argument COL equal to, let's say, red color. So it will change it to red. So if you want to know how many colors we have, right, in R, let's say to know how many colors available. So we just type colors with open bracket and close bracket. So we will see there are a lot of colors, 657 different type of colors are available, right? Boleh eh? So let's say you want to use uh, let's say magenta 3. So you can just copy and paste this one to magenta color, red to magenta 3. So it will change to magenta lah. Boleh? Are you okay?
Okay.
So let's say you want to plot scatter diagram by group. Let's say you want to add let's say we know that there is three type of cylinder, right, dalam empty car data set. So we know, let's say, table empty cars, we have three type of cylinders: 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, and 8 cylinders. So I want to know which part is having 6 cylinders, which part is having 4 cylinders, and 8 cylinders. So you can use color by group, right? So color by group. So let's see, I copy this one again, right? Instead of putting color equal to magenta, right, I cancel this one. I just put empty cars by CYL. So it will change it to by group by CYL lah, right? Boleh ya? Or um, I think dekat tu lah cukup, right? Yang lain kodenya panjang. I don't want to show. So let's say I want to add adding line inside the graph. So let's say you want to make a presentation. You want to show that this is the line, is the line for the benchmarking. Under this line is a rejection item. So let's say you can use AB line, right? Provided that you already create a graph lah. You put AB line, let's say horizontal equal to 25, right? So it will create a line. So we can see that every observation below than 25 or above than 25 is an outlier observation, right? So this is one of the way of presenting the graph lah. Right, you can also put colors for the line. Color equal to, let's say, we put green, right? And we can also make the color the line to be thicker by LWD, right? LWD equal to 2, let's say. I tambah lagi sikit, right? Atau equal to 3, make it thicker, right? This is for horizontal line. So if you want to make a vertical line, right? Let's say I want to cut point. My cut point is weight equal to 3. So V equal to 3. Color equal to, let's say, red, right? LWD make it the line to be thicker, dan dia akan keluar lah, right? So AB line is for creating line on the graph, right? So provided that you already create a graph, then baru you boleh lukis line atas graph tu, right? So as we see before, right, dekat sini, let's say this is a PCH available, right? Let's say you want to change it a bit, right? You want to make it your graph look fancy. You can find another symbol, right, from WhatsApp ke, daripada Telegram ke, simbol-simbol yang you nak pakai. Let's say for example, you want to use this type of symbol, smile symbol, heart symbol, peace, snow, and aeroplane. So I can replace PCH with this one lah. So let's say I'm going to use this one. Let's say this one, okay, add PCH in different perspective, right? So let's see, make it. So PCH dekat sini, mana ada PCH? Okay, PCH dekat sini, I want to change it to these three, right? Contoh. So nampak dia ubah sendiri ke? Macam tu lah. This one because I put it color equal to CYL. So let's say I don't want to color equal to CYL, I just remove this one, right? So dia akan dapat smiley face lah. Alright, let's say I change it to color equal to green. So it will change it to green. So color ni, right, say tadi I tunjuk, we can see there are 657 different colors types available kan. So you can also replace the color by typing. If you want to choose your own custom colors, right, you can go to htmlcolorcodes.com, right, or any HTML color codes, right. You can customize your own colors lah. Let's say I want this color, right, to be a bit darker. So I want this type of color. So you can see here we have hashtag B7E802. This is the color code, right? The color code. So I can copy and paste here lah, right? So it will change it to my color codes, right? Okay. Boleh eh? So we know that we can put the name, a title for the whole graph, title for x-axis and y-axis. Let's say I want to make the graph more colorful. Let's say I want to use colors for titles, colors for axis tick, and so on. So additional usage of colors, right? So let's say I'm using this one again, tak mau pakai yang biasa saja. Let's say this one lah. So this is the normal one kan. So let's say I want to put a symbol color. I'm going to use COL. So this is for COL is just for symbol colors, right? So let's say I want to change for title. So I'm going to use col main, color for main is equal to, let's say, green lah. This one, title color. So dekat sini mesti ada comma, right? Right, can see color title is already changed to green lah, but green is not nice. Let's say I'm using other colors. Let's say more darker. Let's say I want to use blue color. Let's say I'm going to use this one, right? So I change it to this code color. So you will change it to this code, right? So next, let's say I want to change for x and y axis color, right? For miles per gallon and weight of the car. So I just put color laps, right, equal to then I can put the color name lah. Let's say Sina 2. So this is for x and y axis color, right? So color is not nice. Let's say I tukar color green, darker green, right? And then let's say I want to change to the tick label color, right? Means that the tick one, this one, the tick label, color. So let's say I want to change tick label color. I just use col dot exist equal to, let's say, red. So this is a tick label color, right? And let's say I want to change the box color, right? So I'll just use fg equal to, let's say, orange, right? So this is for box color. And let's say I want to change the background color equal to color apa dah? Color yellow green. Oops. Oh, this one tak ada ni. Okay. This one BG is for this one dalam ni. Dalam simbol dalam ni, okay. So kalau nak tukar background color macam mana? So kalau nak tukar background color, you need to put it early. Par BG equal to, let's say, kita ambil color yang nice sikit. Let's say this color. So nampak tak? So I need to put par BG equal to my color codes, and then I can change the color for the background, right? So basically, for coloring, it should not more than 3 colors lah, right? The maximum color should be maximum to 3, right? So this one should dia nampak teruk lah, right? So but for the illustration purposes, I think it's fair enough, because I can show to you how this argument change the color, right? So now let's look at exist function. So let's say I have a scatter diagram. Let's say again, cos WT and cos MPG, right? So this is the, oh wait, I need to change back to white. Kalau tak dia mengganggu. So when you are already finished with that color, so we change back to white lah. So this is the original color, right? So let's say I want to put exist equal to false, means that I don't want any exist, right? So maksudnya I nak this one saja, right? And then let's say I want to add x exist, right? To add x exist, right? From provided you already have a graph without exist, so we just put exist, right? This one is for x exist lah, right? 6 until this one until 6 lah, 0.5. Oops, tak keluar. Sorry, salah. This one should be add sequence 1 until 6 by 0.5. So dia akan keluar. Oops, kenapa jadi macam ni? Sekejap. Oh yeah, sequence cannot be this one. Yup. So kalau by default, kalau kita tengok dekat sini, without exist, let's say copy, without exist equal to false, kita tengok dekat sini, right? So dia akan letak exist for x is 2, 3, 4 and 5. So dia tak masuk sekali dengan 1 sampai berapa kan. So you need to define balik exist u. So exist 1, let's say clear your exist equal to false, maksudnya tak nak semua exist ni. And then as is equal to 1, maksudnya for x as is, add from sequence daripada 1 hingga 6. For the incremental part is 0.5, means 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and so on lah. So you just put this one, right? So for x as is, for y as is, we just put 2 at, let's say, for original one from 10 to 30, right? So let's say I want it to be at from sequence from 5 to 50, right? So dia nampak macam tu lah. So this one is incremental by 2, right? Let's say incremental by 5. So dia akan overlap kan? Alright, macam ni lah. This one for adding as is. Let's say you want to add as is limit. As is limit. So as is limit, so we just type x lim. For example, plot, right? Empty cars. Let's say wt, and y as is should be mpg, right? So x limit from 1 until 6. Let's say 1 until 6. This is for set x as is from 1 to 6, right? Y limit is for setting y limit lah, y as is lah. So let's say 5 until 40. I think this one will be look nicer compared to as is only, right? Y as is from 5 to 40, right? So you nampak lagi kemas berbanding dengan the first one. Kalau you nampak first one macam ni, right? So this one is not really a nice graph, so you need to modify sikit. So by putting x limit, so we can clarify the x limit lah. And then you can put others argument lah, such as min, x lab, sex, LWT, col min, and so on lah. Right, let's say you want to change the font size. Let's say you have this kind of graph. Let's say this is a this is not nice graph. Huh? Let's say font size. So let's say you want to make it bigger, make it smaller of the font size. Let's say I don't want this. This one don't want. This one also not nice. Boleh lah. Size equal to 1. Kecil sikit. This one. Okay, nice. Right. So let's say you want to increase the font size, right? So to increase the font size, we know that to increase the size of the symbol, we just use CEX, right? Right. Let's say we change it to 2, CEX equal to 2. So it will change the symbol size to bigger size, right? So let's say I want to change the title of the graph to be more bigger. Let's say cex.main, right, equal to 2. So, oops, dekat sini kena ada comma, right? So nampak tak dia lebih besar? Ataupun you want to make it big, smaller, right? Smaller. Equal to 1.5, make it a bit bigger, right? So let's say you want, this one is for font size for title, right? Let's say font size for as is title. So cex.lab equal to, let's say I just put 2, right? So it will make it one side for the label x as is and y as is to be more bigger. Let's say 1.5 should be enough, right? Let's say before that I lupa satu benda dekat atas ni. um, this one mana tu? Oh, label. I mentioned to you, we have title, right? Title, exist title, y exist and x exist title. We also have subtitle. We just put sub equal to, let's say this is subtitle. Oops. So dia akan keluar ke bawah lah. This is a subtitle. So subtitle is used to explain further about the graph, right? So now I can explain about the size of the subtitle. So let's say let's put here sub equal to, this is a subtitle, and don't forget the comma. Right, subtitle, this is for font size for x axis, x and y axis title, right? For subtitle sex dot sub, right? Let's say equal to 2, so to make it the subtitle more bigger, right? Yeah, so if you want to make it smaller, just put 1.2, right? You make it smaller, right? I think that's all. We have main for title, lab for exist title, sub for subtitle. Let's say you want to change the font for exist label, kan? So this one 25, 10, 15, 20 ni nak make it bigger. So cex dot exist equal to, let's say 1.2, right? 1.2 is a standard one. Let's say make it 1.5, so make it bigger, right? Bila nampak perubahan dia kan? Let's say make it 2, even more bigger, right? So 1.2 should be enough, right? So this is about font size, right, for the graph. So next we're going to talk about font style. So remember, we have a lot of font style available in R, such as Times New Romans, Arial, and so on, right? So let's say, so we are not talking, no, font style is about bold, italic, and bold italic, combination of two. Let's say let's say I'm going to show to you lah the different par mf row equal to 1, 1 to 3, right? Let's say I'm going to plot empty cars, weight, mpg. Let's say font equal to 2, right? And main, so main equal to, this is, I'm going to show this one as a bold, right? And then this one font equal to 3, this is italic, right? Another one is font equal to 4, is combination of 2, bold, italic. So right, boleh nampak tak perbezaan dia? You nampak dekat sini, the font for exist kan, this is bold one, right? This is italic, this is a bold italic, right? So this is the difference between font style for exist lah, right? Let's say you want to change the font style for others. For example, for exist title for the graph, right? So let's say you can use the same function, right? Font style for others. So let's say I copy this one. So you can see here, kita ada exist title, right? So let's say this is a font size. Lupa nak tulis font size for subtitle. This is font size for exist. So let's say I nak tambah sikit lagi daripada sini, right? I nak tambah font size untuk exist, right? So this one I nak make it dia jadi italic, right? So this is font style italic for exist, existing, right? So we nampak sini dia jadi italic kan? Right, so let's say I want to change font size, font style untuk title. So we're going to use font.main, right? Equal to, kalau equal to 1 means that we're going to maintain whatever we have, right? Kat sini kena comma. Whatever we have, dia akan maintain, right? So dia tak akan jadi bold, right? So if you want to make it bold, you letak 2 lah, jadikan bold. If you want to make it italic is 3, bold italic is 4, right? So this is for font style for title, right? Should be a comma here. So let's say font style for exist, right? So we just put exist equal to let's say 4, right? So dia akan jadi 4 is basically, this is supposed to be existing, right? Ada kat sini. Actually dia benda yang sama dengan atas ni, I think, right? So I think let's say I ubah 3, so then dia jadi italic kat sini. Let's say berdua, dia tak jadi apa-apa kan. Let's say I padam this one, right? Dia actually font.exist ni adalah benda yang sama dengan tadi lah, dengan font tu. Maksudnya dia akan tukar jadi bold dekat exist lah. This is for font style for exist, right? Let's say font style for subtitle, for label, right? For exist label, let's say for exist label equal to 3, so dia akan tukar jadi italic lah, right? So this is a font style for label, exist label, right? So I hope you get something from here, right? This is the process of making the graph look nicer, right? So the objective of the graph is instead of selain daripada kita nak show the relationship, show the value in the graph, we want people to see the graph in a nicer way, in an interactive way, right? So that's why we need to put a lot of effort in R to show the very good graph looking, right? So let's say you want to change the font family, right? Let's say you want to change the font family, right? Instead of using the normal one or default one, font family. Kita belum pergi banyak graph lagi ya. Kita baru pergi ke scatter diagram. Nanti untuk line-line graph dah senang saja. Just go on the function saja. Yang lain-lain sub argument ni semua you boleh copy and paste, right? So now let's look at all available font family in R, right? So we just put names PDF font, right? And that's all. So we can see that we have 30 available font installed in R, right? So we have serif, sans, mono, and so on lah, including Time New Romans, right? I don't see any Arial form. Arial, we have Arial empty here, right? And so on. So we need to choose font carefully. So let's say I'm going to show very simple one. Let's say I copy this one, right? So let's say I pilih pitch haze equal to 1, right? So I want to change the family equal to mono, right? So you can see this font is already changed to mono, right? If I want to change it to times, let's say we have time capital T, TIMES, so it will change it to times. If you want to change it to serif, so it will change it to serif, right? So it depends which kind of font you want to use lah, to make it the graph look nicer, right? So let's say the graph without explanation, right? If you want to point out something on the graph, let's say you want to show this point on this one point ni, nak bagi tahu apa value dia, ataupun nak tunjuk semua ni apa value-value yang ada setiap point ni represent. So we can use add label on the point. Add label on the point. So to add label on the point, let's say I just copy this one. I don't want it to use family, this one. Right, let's say this is a normal one. Let's say I make it bigger. PCH equal to, let's say LWD equal to 2. Right, and then CX equal to 2. So make it bigger. Right, ataupun 1.5 should be enough. Right. Color equal to red. Let's say BG equal to tak keluar pula, BG equal to yellow. Okay, doesn't matter. Right, so let's say we have this one, right? So I want to show the label for each point, right? So this one should represent, let's say kita tengok dekat head of empty cars, right? For each row kita ada variable row names, right? For the first row is representing Mazda RX-4. Second row representing Mazda RX-4 WAG, right? So and so on. So we're going to use we're going to plot the label in different function, which is text, right? So empty cars weight, right? And empty cars mpg, oops, right? And we're going to put label equal to row dot names empty cars saja, right? And it will show you the label, right? And we can adjust the position of the label and the size of the label. The size of the label, let's say CX equal to 0.5, position should be equal to 2, and color should be equal to, let's say, blue. Oops. First thing we need to clear this one first, and then I change it to here. If I change it to position equal to 3, right? So it will be on the right hand side. If position equal to 2, oops, it should be on the left hand side, right? Is position equal to 4, do you have? Yeah, sama juga, right? So this one a bit smaller lah, huh? Let's say 0.8, besar sikit, right? Biar nampak lah. So you make it bigger, then you can see this one is for Toyota Corolla Fiat 128, right, and so on lah, right? So let's say we don't want R to display all the labels. Let's say we want to point out this value Toyota Corolla is the is the value that we want to point out. Let's say yang satu saja ataupun dua saja kan. So let's say we can also add label individually on data point, right? So let's say I have this kind of graph, simple graph. So let's say I want to look at the data over here. So means that miles per gallon is more than 20, right? And the value of weight is less than 3, somewhere here again. So I can use dplyr, right, library to identify lah, dplyr to identify the data value. Let's say empty cars filter mpg more than 20 and weight is less than 3, right? So it will show us the data that mpg is more than 20 and weight is less than 3 less than 3. But the problem now here is we don't know the row name, the row sequence, right? So there are no row sequence here. So what we need to do is we're going to add a new variables, empty car, which is n. So we're going to set integer, sequence integer, n row empty cars, right? And then we're going to call again the name. So we can see that this one, when mpg is equal to 21, so this one is quite hard to see as well. So let's say select mpg and weight. So right, tiga ni lah, kita ambil tiga ni. So senang kita nak point out. Let's say I want to point out this variable, this value kan. So I need to know which row this value dekat mana, right? So let's say this one is 30 something, so 33, right? 33 tapi weight dia dekat sini lebih daripada 2 kan. So 30 it should be 32, right? Which is 18. 18. So apa yang I buat sekarang adalah, let's say I put select equal to C18, and another one, let's say I nak tunjuk dekat sini, right? This one is let's say less than 20 and more than 4. So I can put another one, less than 20, less than 20, right? Less than 20 and more than 4. So this is how we use subsetting data to analyze to plotting the graph, right? So let's say less than 20 and more than 4. Let's say this one should be yang lain semua lebih dari 5. This is 12, right? So let's say tunjuk 12, right? So now dekat sini, once I already have the graph, I put select row number 18 and row number 12. And I put text, benda yang sama balik, text, right? Copy and paste here, text, and then instead of putting all data, I just put a indexing function, select, which one I nak select balik yang atas ni, masuk dalam ni, right? And then sama juga dekat sini, select, right? So what will happen here, oops, what happened oh yeah, this one dia akan display semua kan, sebab kalau kita tengok dekat sini, empty cars ni, row ni semua kita ambil. So what I need to do is we put select here as well, right? So kalau kita tengok sini, one, oops, should be outside, right? So boleh nampak dekat sini, this is the point that I want to do, right? Okay, boleh? So nak tunjuk ni pun dah sejam lebih kan? Alright. So next, I want to show you to how to add legend. Adding legend. Sometimes you have more than two groups kan, you nak buat legend. You want to show this one is for apa, this one is for apa. Let's say I want to create a line chart lah. Sorry, I want to create a scatter diagram, but I want to create a line for a bench to represent a benchmark. Let's say more than y equal to 20, right, and x equal to 2, for example, okay. So let's say plot empty cars weight and empty cars, this is going to be mpg, and pch equal to 19 lah, letak macam ni, okay. So let's say I create AB line, horizontal line equal to 20, colors equal to red, right, and I put cx equal to, sorry, I put lwd lah, lwd equal to 2, make it line thicker, right. Another one is app line vertical equal to 3 and color equal to green, and make it line thicker, lwd equal to 2, right. So I make a 2 line here. So what I want to do is, now I'm going to add legend. Adding legend. So by adding legend, we need to use legend function, right. So where you want to put the legend function, let's say bottom right, upper corner, right. So we just put, let's look at the legend punya function. So dekat sini legend dia ada x and y. So the first one, it can be, kita tengok example lah. So example dia kat sini, dia the first one dia punya variable lah, tapi kita dah create a graph in advance kan. So let's say kita boleh letak, this one, legend, bottom right, bottom left, top right, and center lah. Wherever you want to put, you can choose from here kan. So let's say I want to put it on bottom right, let's say legend equal to apa dia, first legend should be horizontal benchmark, right. This one should be on character, right. The second one should be vertical benchmark. So you can put in whatever color you want, whatever name you want, but at the end you need to specify the color for each legend. So let's say the first one should be, I letak the first one is red, so horizontal is red, right. So each one should be red. Another one is green, so green, right. And I'm going to put lwd equal to 3, right, and I think that's all. So mana yang graph tadi, so this one just tambah sikit lah, so dia akan ada dekat sini, right. Okay, boleh? Do you have any problem?
No, okay, sir.
Right, now let's look at the next graph. Kita lambat dah, 1 jam 15 minit. So let's look at the next graph, which is line chart, right. So line chart, so we're still using plot function, right. So line chart, what is the purpose of line chart? Line chart is for numerical data, numerical variable should is going line chart is actually you want to see the trend, to see the trend of the data, right? Either dia mesti dalam bentuk time series kan. Selalunya data dalam bentuk time series ataupun dalam bentuk effect, right? Let's say you want to compare effects between temperature 1, temperature 2 and temperature 3. We can also use a line chart to illustrate that one, but usually line chart is for time series data. So let's say we have data pressure. So data pressure, let's look at the pressure. Right, so in dataset pressure, we have temperature and pressure. So let's say I want to plot this data in line chart. So what I'm going to use is I'm using plot function. Plot function, I'm using pressure. The first argument, the first variable I put is should be on y-axis, right? The second argument should be on y-axis, which is pressure. And if you want to use line chart, you need to specify the type equal to L, right? If you are not specifying any type argument dalam plot function, so it means that you will get a scatter diagram, right? So if you put type equal to L, so you will get a line chart. Same goes to if you put type equal to type equal to B, you will get both combination of line and point, right? But we don't, it does not overlap, right? So if you put you put type equal to O, you will get a combination of line and point, but the point and line are overlapping. This is a kind of good graph lah. Okay. So now, tadi kita dah tengok LWD is for thickness, CX for the size of the symbol, and then kita dah tengok lagi apa? PCH is for different type of symbol, right? So in line, there are also different type of line, right? So let's say I put this one, this code. Oops. Mana M? Kejap I dah hilang M tadi. But it's okay. Tak payah tengok code ni tak apa. So now I nak tunjuk dekat you how to change the line type, right? To change the line type, we're going to use function LTY. LTY function. LTY argument lah, argument inside the function of plot, right? For example, let's say I'm using this one, right? So I'm going to put another argument called as LTY, which is LTY equal to 1 is a normal one. Let's say LTY equal to 2. This is different type. Let's say I make it bigger. LWD equal to 3. So make it bigger lah, right? So let's say I change it, LTY equal to 3, this kind of graph line. LTY equal to 4, macam ni punya graph line. LTY equal to 5, LTY equal to 6, right? You can change the line type, which one, whatever you want lah. So LTY is to change the line type, right? Okay, now let's say kita try buat satu hands-on practical data set lah. Let's say we try to develop a line chart using COVID dataset. Right. So you need to go to COVID website, right? GitHub for COVID-19 Malaysia, right? So dekat sini kan, right? So now dia ada banyak dataset. Let's say we go to epidemic, and then let's say we choose case malaysia.csv. So for case malaysia.csv, we have a lot of variable here, right? So we have a lot of variable, right? And we have 678 line, which is 677 observation, right? And we're going to use date and case new, right? So to get this data, we need to click on raw, right? Make sure it is in raw data set, and we copy the link lah, the link on the URL atas ni, right? So let's say I'm going to put it as data 1, right? read.csv and call the dataset. So since that my R is already called the dataset, so names data1, right? So I have 31 variables, and how many observation? Dimension data1, I have 677 observation, right? So I want to use date and case news only, right? Let's look at the structure of data1. Before we go further on analyzing the data, we need to check the data type. So if we look at the data type for date is in character, so we need to change this to date lah, right? And then case as integer. There are no, this is not a real number, right? This is integer number. So what we need to do is we can change the date, right? Let's say data1 date should be as date, right? As date factor lah, as date factor, data1 date, right? So let's look at the structure again. So it's already changed it to date, and format is 2020-01-025, means 01 is the month, 25 is the day, right? Okay, so semua dah dapat setakat ni? Semua dah sampai stage macam ni? Right, let's say we have date from 2020, year 2020, right? So let's say I don't want to analyze all the data set, right? Let's say kita tengok data set lah, plot data 1 date and data 1 new cases type equal to L, right? So it will show all the cases from 2020 until now lah, until yesterday kan. So this is up to date data, right? So I want to filter or select from July, so let's say select from only 2021, right? So select date only 2021. We're going to use dplyr package. Let's say data2 filter data1 date is more than or equal to 2021 -0101, right? So then we can replot again, right? So I try to replot again. This is date 2, data 2. So we can see that we have all the cases for 2021 lah. So let's say I want to know the trend from July 2021 to November 2021, right? So let's say data 3 filter data 1 date more than or equal to 2021 equal to 0701 and date less than or equal to 2021 11 November dah berapa hari? 30 November is 30, right? So 30. Right, let's plot again. Right, this is data 3. So we can see the trend from July until November, end of this November, right? Let's say I want to see, nampak dekat sini August, dekat sini dia makin meningkat kan? So I want to see on month of August only. So trend for month of August 2021. So let's say data 1, this is data 4, filter data 1, right? Date more than or equal to 2021 0801, right? And date less than or equal to 2021 0831. Oops, I forgot one thing. There are no bracket out here, right? So again, benda yang sama, kita paste. This is number 4. So you can see the trend for July, for August, right? But the point is, you can see the trend for August. Tapi kita tengok dekat x-axis ni, dia macam jarak-jarak 02, 09, 016 and so on lah. Kalau kita buka besar pun sama juga, right? So what we need to do is we need to change the axis lah. Let's say I don't want to put any axis. Any axis equal to n, right? I remove the axis first, right? So then I put axis 1 should be date, data 4 date, and date should be formatted as tadi dia letak apa, dia letak month and day kan. So kita letak month and day, right? Data 4 date should be percentage month and day. So this one should be in bracket, right? So ni nak besarkan sikit si axis ni equal to 0.7, mungkin kecilkan sikit, right? So dah dapat dah sikit, right? So still dia tak nampak semua lagi kan? So untuk fit in semua ni, apa yang kena buat? Kena rotate lah benda ni, rotate ke vertical. Sekarang dia horizontal kan. Kalau vertical tu dia akan nampak 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0, 6 until 31 lah. So macam mana nak rotate okay. Kalau nak rotate, you can use another function. This one I belum sebut lagi, rotation. So we can use rotate axis using last argument, right? Using last, LAS, right? So let's say um, let's say I copy this one again, right? So I letak kat bawah so boleh nampak kan. So I'm menggunakan last equal to 2. Oops. So nampak tak? So I ada rotate benda tu. Okay. So antara argument yang I dah tunjuk dekat you, first is type. This is for plot function, okay? So kita ambil masa 1 jam dekat 2 jam untuk tengok plot function only, right? Plot function, kita tengok type, main, x label, y label, subtitle, and then kita tengok cex, lwd, pch, las, dan kita tengok yang lain font, family, and so on lagi lah, ada banyak lagi boleh tengok balik dalam YouTube video nanti, right? So I think that's enough for plot function. Later on we will continue on bar plot and histogram. Another one is box plot, and last is a correlation matrix, just using a base package lah. So to make the graph look beautiful, so you can apply all the argument that I already taught you before lah. Sebelum ni I dah tunjuk macam mana nak letak color, subtitle, you can put all together, you can kumpul semua together, letak dalam graph yang sama lah, dalam plot ni, okay? Right, any questions so far?
Saya nak tanya.
Yes. This one kita nak show only month and date. Right, that's why we format the exist lah. Kita nak formatkan exist ni jadi month and date only. So that's why we put August and date lah. August is month, date is day lah, 01, 02, 03 until 31. Right? So this one you need to learn a bit more on date function, right? So try to Google, try to open a book and learn about date formatting. Okay? Ada soalan lain? Right, if you have no question then